S22 Plus and S22, pretty much the same phones, just a smaller package based on which one you want to get. And they've been out since February, so it's been about 10 months. We're near the end of 2022, into the 2023 year and beyond. Let's talk about how my long-term experience has been and what it's actually held up to be. And is it still something I would class as the nicest and my favorite S-series phone ever? Yeah, let's discuss it, man. Yeah, in these type of videos, you know what? I try and keep it relaxed, unscripted. I've done lots of long-term videos and reviews on the Galaxy S22. So definitely check in the links in the description below and the cards above. There might be a bit of product shots in this one, but you know what? Let's just have a conversation, right? Sometimes we've got to stay relaxed and just vibe with it. And I'm going to talk about long-term, just what this S22 has really meant to me in terms of my user experience, especially the S22 Plus. The phone is classed as the Goldilocks phone. It's just the right spot. You know what? I'm gonna go back to my original statement and say that this has to be the nicest and the most well put together Galaxy S series phone that I've used. You know, the only S series phone that really kind of just made me feel like that from the jump when I held the S7 Edge. Since 2016 February time, S7 Edge, I ain't really felt like that about an S-series phone until like this. And it's so strange how Samsung have been able to pattern this up, because there's a lot of things that they've kind of, you know, cut back from what they had with the S20 Plus. And we're gonna run through that. But let's start from the outside, work our way in, as we like to do, build and design. Look at this. This is peak level Samsung design. Do you see how beautiful this thing is? Like, look at that matte finish. Like, even makes a sound. Let me show you the sound. There's a sound that I can't explain it. There's a sound that it makes when you're not using a case on it that just feels so different. Even then, look at the chamfers that they've been able to do. The chamfered edges on the edge of the camera frame, the inner camera rings, you know, the edges are rounded, but they're still flat and sharp. So you get this grip, but comfort at the same time. For me, yeah, this is the nicest feeling and looking phone Samsung have designed. Like, it's so much into the details where you look at little things, where the SIM card trays, the holes are, the microphone, the USB. It's perfectly symmetrical with the, you know, the speaker grills. The buttons feel really nice. They're nice and clicky. Yes, I do wish they were on the opposite side with the volume rocker and then the power button on the right, so it's just easier and it just made a bit more sense. So it says less hand gymnastics. But you know what? Instantly, and I know many people that have just felt and held this here, and they think, rah, this just feels like a beautiful piece of tech. The design and build quality is still the same, man. It's the nicest. I think this is peak level Samsung design. I don't really know how they're gonna top this, but we'll see. But for me, this is top levels. Next, the display. And I think Samsung handled the display both equally the best and the worst. At launch, right, there was this whole thing about how it's an adaptive refresh rate of like 10 to 120 hertz. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. It was 48 hertz to 120 hertz. But then when you go into the Android system settings, it actually shows you a minimum refresh rate of 24 hertz. Me, I don't know. I'm not a display expert. All I know is that these lot were just on some stuff. And I just think, like, for something they need to consider, this is still just, I say just, it's a 1080p 120 hertz display at 6.6 inches. I still think they need to consider putting QHD and 90 hertz in there. Because of the price, this is effectively almost £1,000. It's like $950, right? I'm gonna take all the numbers and I'm gonna tell you this. When you are actually using this display in real life, none of that matters. The borders and the bezels are completely symmetrical, but not just symmetrical, they're silly thin. It's bright, 1050. And also in terms of the nits, I get speechless. This display is beautiful. This display is probably the nicest display Samsung have built and made. And it's not based on the technicalities and the numbers. The real world experience of having a small hole punch, thin bezels that are even all around, they pulled it off. And just reducing the size a little bit by that 0.1 inch from 6.7 on the S21 Plus to this, yeah. My favorite display experience. And guess what? It is flat, people. What that basically means is it's going to be easier for you to get a glass or plastic screen protector for it and apply it. Lord have mercy, those curved displays need to go. So Samsung, not technically your best, but this is actually your best display that you've actually put together. Moving on, what powers it? Ooh, being in UK and Europe basically means that we are powered by the infamous Exynos 2200, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. If we go back 2 years, the Plus models were able to get 12 gigs of RAM. You can't anymore, just 8 gigs, 256, 128. And I keep saying it, I'm not a predominant user of, mobile games and stuff, right? Day-to-day power of the Exynos 2200 is fine. That's not me making excuses for it. But I just think we're just at the point where Samsung, you've been trying for 8 years, almost to a decade with this whole, you get Exynos here, you get Snapdragon here. Don't work. It's okay. Let's dead it, right? And some people are going to dead it because they feel like Exynos doesn't get gaming support with the higher, details straight away. You have to weigh efficiency, battery. Mine is camera performance. The ISP in here, next to the Snapdragon one, is just not on par. That's just my personal opinion, right? And I just want us to get to the point where, please, just give me one chipset that works across the board, just like what all the other manufacturers do. None of that cannibalism where you're trying to fight each other in-house with different chipsets. So that's just kind of my thoughts on the overall performance of it. Camera. And I'm really glad they switched this up. Like if you remember, they kind of had a bit of a weird camera setup with this one, but what they've done is the main camera is 50 megapixels, ultra wide is 12 megapixels, and you actually get a proper 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom lens. Before it was 64 megapixels and it was actually hybrid cropping on that sensor. And that zoom sensor was what was doing the 8K video recording. It's on the main sensor, it doesn't crop as much. The camera performance, 10 megapixels on the selfie, just to mention as well, really good. I think it would be better if I had a better ISP, but we mentioned that already. But overall, it's a very thing that I like to call very well balanced. Portrait mode. Samsung. Whoever actually decided to put all that effort into making the edge detection and portrait mode that on point, even for portrait video mode with stabilization, give them a raise. Give them a damn raise. Best portrait mode on any smartphone, especially if you're looking at edge detection, selfie, main camera, and 3x zoom. I enjoy it that much, and it's actually showing it in real time before you take it, and it communicates very well. This is just what Samsung does, a seamless video recording experience, especially in 4K 30. I wish it was more seamless in 4K 60, but hopefully they get there. Maybe when they eliminate just having to use 2 different chipsets, it's going to allow them to really do that well. But overall, I like the camera system. It's on point, very well balanced. Camera away, let's talk about software, because that's what's going to give you the features to interact and utilize what's actually in there, right? And please, go to Sam Mobile TV on YouTube. I've literally covered everything that you want to know about Android 13 and One UI 5 on there. Literally was like since July up until September ending, right? It's been a long road. All I can say is this, right? Android 13 is nice. More customization to the lock screen. It's definitely faster in terms of the speed. It's definitely more secure. And you also get smart widgets as well in terms of, smart widget suggestions, tagged widgets. It's really nice. It's well put together, right? Yes, should they have focused a bit more on the animation, smoothness, and fluidity? Yeah, but I just personally think the nature of the beast of One UI, with heavy features like Dex and all these other things that's in there, I don't know if they're really gonna get it as smooth as Pixel, but I'll take it. It's the one I'm used to the most, and they've done a great job with the best monthly updates, very well timed, next generation version of Android release, and promising 4 generations, meaning this is going to last up until Android 16 with an additional year of security updates. Listen, props to them, man. They're taking a crown when it comes to software. Software out the way. Battery. Nope. No, sorry. 4,500 milliamps. 3,700. Nah. That reduction from the 4,800 milliamps on the S21 Plus is heavily felt. I'm sorry, like the battery life on this, it's below par. It's below par. If you're just looking at screen on time, 3 to 5 hours of screen on time, sometimes closer more to the bottom end of 3.5 to 4 hours. Yeah, you struggle with this one. And yeah, 45 watt charging, just use the 25 watt charger. The difference is not that much. This one here, yeah, S21, you're gonna have to have a power bank next to it, the S22, sorry. But yeah, the battery life, it's not really what I was expecting compared to how great the battery life was on the S21 Plus. And I really hope they just bring it back to form, Give me at least 3,000, 4,700 or 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. Conclusion. My favorite S series phone? Hell yeah. Especially the S, like, cool. S22 is good. But this one, ooh, this is my favorite S series. This is actually the one I would recommend the most. It's just so good and it just hits the spot so well that it's the Goldilocks effect, man. And it's still the case, and that will still remain the same when it comes to 2023. So yeah, if you found this video useful, as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. Hope you're all safe during this time. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.